if we restarted the game again, we'd have some new adventures to kind of play around with.
Some new sliders,
Yes,
right?
some new sliders, some new settings to really, try our hands with. And
Really?
so here we are. We just gotta adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. But oddly enough, this is the first thing in the game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like, this was real, because we talk about how I'm always going to
this
go a
was
little
real.
lighter. Yeah.
Funnily enough, both of the things in this image are buckets.
Yes. Please adjust the slider to the dog and cat reference. Yes. Yes.
Aww.
This is one of the greatest sliders ever. I don't care who you are. Like, I didn't expect them to actually physically get closer. That's, yeah, that's definitely good. What? That's 9, but not the number 9.
Hmm.
There's the number 9. Here, 9. Okay, I just wanted to see what all the options were. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. So technically, I cannot adjust it past this point. There's also I could stop at any time mid slider. So hmm,
Ocuboinkle or Scrumtush?
I'm
Scrumtush.
more of a fan of the Ocuboinkle.
I do like Ocuboinkle. It's got a certain pizzazz to it, you know.
Yeah, whereas Scrumtush, I just think of scrotum and tush, and those aren't two things I like just commonly put together. But Oinkyboinkle, that
Ocuboinkle, almost as if boinking is your occupation. I can get behind
yes, is max out to that, dude.
that.
Okay. I can look it up. Yes, I know what time it is. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes.
Yes. You could answer that question without even knowing the time.
What is the time anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes.
Yeah, plenty.
Help. Yes. Will you come back to visit me? Yes. What? Dude, I'm getting.
That was spooky.
Yeah, that's
Spooky dookie. Just like this title screen. It's pretty
right.
spooky.
This title screen is so spooky. So I guess there might be one more thing that happens when you load up the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I used the skip button. I'm gonna hit pause and start a timer. Um, Yeah, start a timer for an hour. Just, you know, keeping these episodes nice and just digestible so we don't have a... As much as I am proud of a 12-hour Persona Fusion stream, I also understand that that is quite an undertaking for anyone watching. That would also be 12 episodes of complete filler if you don't care about it. Alright. I'm here
Oh yeah,
in my
so the
office.
window.
Okay, so there's a window.
All of his co-workers
You have to
were
climb
gone.
on one of the
What did it mean?
desks to get out the
Stanley
window.
decided to go to the meeting room.
Okay,
Perhaps
so
he had
climb
simply
on.
missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are we sick of the gag yet?
Not me personally, but you know, it just started
In
really.
that case,
So.
we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is Rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Huh. Okay, so I was wondering if I could get behind it. So there's obviously a option to come back here with the bucket.
Yeah.
Wait, this doesn't count as an ending, does it? I know. Do I have to hit restart?
Maybe.
Okay, so now we go back and hit yes, see if that does anything different, because the narrator does spit straight facts the whole time, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back with the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
L bucket.
Stanley decided to go to the
We
meeting
might
room.
be locked
Perhaps
out
he had
with the
simply
bucket,
missed a
though.
memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
Well,
find a
no, you're not
trace
locked out
of
with
his
the bucket.
co-workers.
I'm pretty sure that door doesn't close. Otherwise, the 4:30
Stanley
achievement
assumed
wouldn't have
he'd
worked.
broken the map until he heard this
You're
narration
right.
and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its
No skip
examination
button
of
here, I've
structural
noticed.
narrative tropes. So, Now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
Ooh.
But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not
It's kind of a banger.
and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Worth it.
Yeah, honestly, it's much better to be tired of the experience.
Yeah.
But I guess ultimately we... What? I'm getting so lost in space just spinning around. Okay. I guess we do need to begin again.
The bucket ending.
We got 2 bucket endings technically with this.
Depends on what the bucket ending is, if there's a choice with the bucket ending or not.
True. The bucket doubles the content of this game.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a... Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever choose. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger. Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No! Stanley screamed even louder this time.
Wasn't that mentioned in the tape?
Stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley
The
screamed and
music!
screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of
What the
sages
fuck?
and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
I think we need to talk about that one, dude. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Dude, there's so much blood! And you were talking about something the bucket did. Like, you recognized one of the references?
Gambarata. Remember when you went to the tape room with the bucket, and the man was talking about the bucket, and it ends with him going like, "Who's there?" And then he says, "Gambarata," and then the tape ends, and the ending's like, it's the end.
No. So Gambarata cursed the bucket.
What is this deep lore?
I don't know. Okay, so what's the next thing we should do?
So the fireplace elevator. Go down and then back up.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Without the
This bucket did.
First. Yeah, the bucket is
Stanley came to a set
quite
of two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
it's something.
Well, what's weird is it's like with each ending, I say, okay, so in this like parallel universe, this is what happens. But I feel like all of the buckets are connected somehow. I don't know why.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind
I
of
love this new
anxiety
age
isn't
music.
healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Yeah. What does that say about us as individuals that this is new age music?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated.
To me, it just sounds like,
Stanley
you know,
calmly
some
walked
smooth
forward
jazz,
into the open
ambiance.
passageway.
Oh, it's not jazz.
Okay, so we're supposed to come over here and do it down. And then in a minute we do it up.
Yes.
This honestly feels like one we should have guessed. Like the not, you know, glitching on top of desk and running out a window. I know why I would never have seen that one. But
Yeah.
Stanley realized he
this
felt
one
a
I
bit
just
peculiar.
have never
It
rode
was
down
a
an
stirring
elevator
of
and looked
emotion
in the
his
back of it.
chest, as though he felt more free to
Yeah.
think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Dude, I'm still reeling over the fight with the bucket that I wish we had seen.
Whoops.
It sounded like
Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
like Dark Souls
Why
boss
did
fight or
Stanley
something was
do that
happening.
when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
You know, I don't feel like he was very sincere.
And I'm gonna be honest. Am I supposed to go back down again?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think you go up again.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I got my boy Danny on mic do it that time. The load times of the elevator are getting faster.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Me too.
I bet it's
Slowly.
the boss's office. I bet it's the boss's office.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it might be kind of a stretch, but you know.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
You know, I've always hated those birds until right now.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before,
I have made
I
space
turn to
in
your
my
expert
worldview.
eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
It's like the guy's been very sarcastic about this, but I feel like he's actually starting to get serious.
Of course, going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it.
Honestly, he's right,
Just
though.
how revelatory Stanley's
We've never went
decision-making
down
is.
the
A
elevator
breath of
multiple
fresh air
times in the
a
same place.
landscape of
True.
storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Back up again?
Oh yeah.
How
Let's
many
do it.
times does this go?
I have no idea.
What does the guide you're looking at say?
It's spoiler free, so it just says to keep riding the elevator.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, The agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the
wide open spaces to explore with no content.
Where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting.
Why am I afraid I'm going to see something walk by that I wasn't supposed to?
And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you.
Aww.
Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
The world's healthiest human being. How we did it at the pyramids.
The guy who went to Mars.
Dude, and I love... He's just a regular guy. He looks like he was mowing his grass this morning.
On Mars.
All eyes live on stage. Ooh.
That's a dope ass poster.
Dude, that is a dope poster. An evening with world peace, babies. Stanley Parable, Stanley tonight, live on stage. The space one, the man, the process, the myth, the legend, the variable, Stanley.
That's... Oh man, this is hype.
Here it is, just through this door.
What's in this door? Okay, no. World's first sentient machine. Miss me with that. The red carpet right up here.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you.
Wait, is Stanley's
Stanley.
last name Ryder?
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you.
I think so.
Go get them.
There's also... I don't know why it's there, but yeah, we can do that.
Huh.
Just remember, almonds, chair, gum, table, and the nut bar. I was like, what's up with the numbers? But that's my employee ID. What's this say? Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. My co-workers, they do exist.
Huh.
Up again, down again. The Stanley story. This is break a leg, champ your balls. My
I
true
love
love
the way you ride elevators.
That's a good one. Grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife. From the apartment ending.
Wow.
No one tells stories the way you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. And we got. Thanks for showing me that school skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. And my boss gave me another letter. And is that a picture drawn by my kid? Story. I've been practicing my putting game. Okay.
Oh man, you're a real celebrity.
Yeah, an audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Dude, I gotta see this poster.
Oh my god.
Is that the same guy who went to Mars? I think it's the same guy.
Mars pizza.
Dude, if you went to Mars, you'd have plenty of time to... What's this other posters? Doing great. A conversation with Alexander. You're great. Oh, and there's the picture of the guy who went to Mars. Okay, let's see if I can arrange the camera. Dude, I swear they're the same guy.
It's possible.
And then what's this? The Lord. Meet and greet. Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay. Wow.
Holy shit. Dude, you're a fucking rock star.
Apparently so, dude.
That was all from the riding the elevators up and down again.
That's dope, honestly. That one is way doper than it should be. Okay, and apparently, yeah, you can just get popped up in these other rooms, because we're here now.
Yeah.
Alright, is this going to impact our ending? Because this is going to spawn us right into the two rooms.
So you could do that again with the bucket.
Oh, you're so right, dude.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley?
This is why we try without the
Stanley
bucket
clutched
first.
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Dude. How can they
Still
top
no one was here.
that?
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
Yeah, that's the good ending, man. Oh, screw the freedom ending.
Right, dude? This ending, I literally became a rock star.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication.
Let's see what happens if we just type in random numbers.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional
Oh, it's not the year I was
if
born.
not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds.
Danny's favorite time of day?
It would be with him,
No.
always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk, nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket.
What about 1337?
The pin number for the keypad
Oh, I was going to do
2845.
Oh no, I messed it up.
Stanley just sat
Okay,
around.
what number are you saying?
Trying to input anything on the device was useless.
1337.
Since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I don't know 1337. What is that supposed to mean?
Like
2845.
Leaked. I forget the significance of it, but it is a thing. Let me look it up real quick, because that's going to bother me.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
An informal language or code used on the internet in which standard letters are often replaced by numerals or special characters that resemble letters in appearance. Oh, so it's just the phenomenon of using letters as...
Literally the thing we were just doing in there.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, because I hit him with the boob and all that stuff.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. Bucket said nothing.
The
number 3? Yeah.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Why doesn't the bucket like the number 3? I do enjoy that the narrator called it absolutely slamming the button.
Perhaps it's not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Slamming that like button.
Yeah, so everybody out there, slam that like button at least 3 times. You know, let's go hit the button again, I guess.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket.
and the bucket said nothing.
We're going to introduce you to the magic of the number 3 book.
Here we go, said Stanley.
Number 3 is
This
a
time
pretty great.
I'll really show you.
Great.
He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close.
So this is going to be depressing, isn't
for one
it?
another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's?
Why doesn't the
question
bucket
caused
understand?
Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I know what we can do. Go back up and hit the number 3 some more. Because everybody, I don't know if anyone's ever going to listen to this, but, you know, if me and Danny are ever at, you know, opposite ends of a spectrum, the best way to convince Danny he's wrong is just to subjugate him to something over and over and over again until he
I know how
eventually
to fully
likes
express
it.
this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing
we're
it
back
until
here.
it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
No. No.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3 again. 3 again. I still would love to see the TED Talk with the man who created pizza.
Yeah.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
Oh my god.
He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
What the fuck?
Not my favorite.
No, that one was depressing as hell.
Because of the absurdity of the number 3. If he'd went with a more popular number like 5. Okay, what's next?
So there is one. It's a little. I don't know how hard it is to actually pull off. So, you can, like, you know the double doors that go into the boss's office?
Yes.
So apparently, you can step in the room and then back out really quick right as the narrator starts talking. And that apparently leads to an ending.
So I need to grab the bucket?
All of his co-workers were
No.
What could it mean?
Usually we do it
Stanley
when we do
decided
it
to go
first
to
without the
meeting room.
bucket.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, so fake out the boss's doors. Got it.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the double doors across the way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was
So I don't know
not
how
a
hard it is
single
to actually
person
pull
here
off.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Get it?
Stanley
To
decided
edge
to go
out the
up to
boss's
his
doors?
Coming to a staircase,
Yeah.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all...
Oh,
Nice.
I guess I walk through the void. I'm gonna go take a shit real quick.
Okay. I'm gonna go pee then too.
Oh no, I was talking in game.
Oh.
Actually good. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay. I can't go through the door void. I was doing some weird stuff to the lighting. I guess I need to go back down these stairs.
Yeah, all the doors seem to have opened. Like, reopened.
Oh. Employee 427 store is open. What is happening? You're in a movie.
Escape pod.
Escape pod bay. I gotta go up the stairs. A good couple flights to get there. Dude, this game can be so hard to see in sometimes.
Yeah. I wonder how someone even found this ending.
It's gotta be people doing source code stuff.
Can't see shit.
I cannot. I'm so lost right now. Oh, finally a loading screen. What?
Did you escape?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm gonna
guess
go
we
pee
should
real
simply
quick, and you can
remember.
work on getting back to that with the bucket.
Okay.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The more I play this game, the more
Still
confused
no
I
one was
end up
here.
being.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
No, you tricked me.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his...
I was wrong, I swear. I don't understand. Why did only one of the doors shut? I think I need to be more out. I think the door got hung up on my body. Man, that was weird.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in.
Okay. The doors didn't turn weird and abyssal this time, but it opened up everything behind me, so let's get started.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, cool. I had a weird thing happen, so I couldn't do it once.
What happened?
The door got stuck on me or something, so only one of the doors was forced to shut. And so when I walked in to trigger the other door, it shut me out because I didn't have 2 doors worth of space to run through. So
That's
I had
crazy.
to redo it again. It's all on camera, so it's not like I'm actually crazy, I swear. But I have since then done it a second time, and this one seems to be working. And I am now going back to the escape pod bay. And see what happens. Yeah, so that one had no ending. It just stopped.
Remember, this one will be different. I don't know.
Maybe. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't TBH. I just gotta try every door, because you never know which one would be the one. Go, Bucket. Be free. Don't
Whoa.
say a word.
It's like an actual cutscene.
I loved you, Bucket. There's only room for one of us.
What in the fuck was that emotional ass shit?
Now I'm wondering if I fucked up somehow by not seeing the actual teleporter last time. But that doesn't make any sense.
That was so beautiful.
It had all the tropes of a movie where you're sending someone you love at your own sacrifice. Alright, what's left?
Oh, close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Yeah, there you go. That's a quick one. If only the speed running worked on the other endings, that would have been the one to go for.
Right? You just shut the door and you're golden. But there's no way to do that one with the bucket.
Yeah, because the door closes behind you when you walk out.
How many endings are on this list you're looking at?
I don't know. I was sifting through the ones we'd already done.
Okay. And we do still have the epilogue ending.
Yeah.
Which, we might see if we can do that one on the next stream.
There's the input received one. Which
Okay.
requires finding the computer with the input thing, hitting the button, and then beginning the game again, and then finding another computer with it, doing it, and then doing that until it's over, basically.
Oh, I like that one. So if you wanted to, we could go ahead and end this stream here. It's probably been right about an hour. And then we can do the power off, power back on, pick up the stream there, go through whatever activates, then maybe do the epilogue ending. If not, we can just keep kind of writing out these endings like we're doing now and see how much content they've actually packed in this little game.
Also, there is indeed an ending for going down that elevator without the bucket. The one that gave you the intervention.
Yes. Okay, cool deal.
Yeah.
Alright, well, with that being the case, we'll go ahead and sign off. We have no slogans. We have no fan base. We're just having fun.